Hi, I'm Kamali, taking you through the stories people are talking about and sharing around the world on NewsFeed today. When's a dress more than a dress? When the internet gets involved, of course, we look at how this girl's prom pics became the latest battleground for identity politics. President Trump made to look a fool and a liar by his lawyer, and he doesn't find the funny side. While President Macron is made a skunk by an Aussie tabloid and laughs it up. And Thursday's Animals Doing Stuff, the most loyal doggo in all of China. All right, top of the newsfeed, and it's called Prom in North America, the Year 12 formal in Australia, and I'm sure you probably have a name for that party you have at the end of school before you go off to university. Now, these are pictures from Kezia's prom. She looks okay, right? And here's one with her boyfriend, a nice-looking couple, I'm sure you'll agree. And here's one with her whole squad. She tweeted pictures of the prom last week because she was happy with how she looked. Then a few days later, a guy called Jeremy Lamb responded on Twitter. He said, "It's my culture, not your prom dress." That's when things blew up. His comments have been liked 180,000 times and retweeted 42,000 times, and restarted the debate that comes up time and time again. When's fashion just fashion, and when is it cultural appropriation? Now, Kezia wasn't having any of it. She responded on Twitter saying, "I mean no disrespect to the Chinese culture. I'm simply showing my appreciation to their culture. I'm not deleting my post because I've done nothing but show my love for the culture, and it's a dress, and it's beautiful." Now, this is just another example of the internet arguing over identity, politics, cultural appropriation, and at its root, racism. Now, are Kezia and her white friends being culturally insensitive, or is the Chinese guy who posted that his culture is not a prom dress being hysterical? We thought we'd ask how all this is going down in China with Patrick Fogg.
Now, a lot of people in this part of the world have been somewhat dumbfounded by the reaction and the backlash that we've seen online. The critics, many of whom are said to be Asian American, perhaps aren't aware that in Hong Kong, the cheongsam, as it's known here, is commonly worn by both Chinese and non-Chinese women. And if you come to markets like this one, you can see behind me that actually they're very popular items for tourists to come and pick up when they come and visit as well. And the figure-hugging form that you see behind me was popularized during the 1920s in Shanghai and was in fact very much influenced by Western design. Now, the cheongsam did fall out of favor in the 1960s following the release of a movie called The World of Susie Wong. It was regarded as having negative sexual connotations after that, but then it roared back into fashion following the release of another Hong Kong cult classic, In the Mood for Love, in which lead actress Maggie Cheung wore 21 different designs of the dress over the course of the film, and many people think that nobody wore it better. In recent years, it has taken on more of a formal, serious tone. That's partly because China's First Lady, Peng Liyuan, chooses the dress as her choice of attire, but of course she is a fashion icon, regarded so by not just Chinese women, but women the world over, and no doubt many people will continue to keep wearing the cheongsam, Chinese or not.
All right, now it's time for the latest installment in the reality TV show I like to call The Presidency of Donald J. Trump. Now, if you've managed to miss this story, here's a bit of a lowdown. Now, this picture shows Trump with an actress called Stephanie Clifford. Her stage name is Stormy Daniels, and she's in adult films. It was taken in 2006, and in the hours and weeks after it, she alleges that she and Mr. Trump had relations. Now, 10 years on, and Mr. Trump is on the verge of being president, and Miss Clifford decide she wants to tell her story. Well, enter this guy. It's Mr. Cohen. That's Trump's attorney. He pays Miss Clifford $130,000 to keep quiet, which she does until she doesn't. She's been talking lots and lots for the past 6 months. Now, Mr. Trump has denied anything of this and denies all the allegations against him and the payment being made. But then his new lawyer and long-term buddy and former mayor of New York said this on Fox News last night.
Having something to do with paying some Stormy Daniels woman $130,000, I mean, which is going to turn out to be perfectly legal. That money was not campaign money. Sorry, I'm giving you a fact now that you don't know. It's not campaign money. No campaign finance violation. So
they funneled it through the law firm.
Funneled through the law firm, and the president repaid it. I would
While
like
you're hearing this, you may be glazing over now, but this is a key moment. It confirms that money exchanged hands, and more importantly, that these funds were not declared as part of Donald Trump's campaign, and so could be a violation of electoral law and therefore very illegal. Now, the French President Emmanuel Macron has been visiting Australia this week. Look, here he is at an Indigenous art fair with the Australian Prime Minister. But it's what he said to Mrs. Turnbull that's had people laughing it up.
I wanted to thank you for your welcome. Thank you and your delicious wife for your warm welcome.
Well, that was close enough. Monsieur President, the French word for delightful is délicieux. Now, the Aussie press have been having a field day with this. Sydney's main tabloid has made him out to be the lecherous cartoon skunk Pepe Le Pieux. Thankfully, President Macron saw the funny side. One of the French journalists on the trip tweeted this photo of him. It's good to see a world leader who doesn't mind having a laugh at himself. Well, let's take a look at what else is trending now on social media. Hashtag Get NZ on the Map has been trending. It's a campaign by the New Zealand Tourist Board after people started posting online that some world maps have been leaving the little fellas off. So they made a video with the country's Prime Minister, who's of course in on the joke.
Now look, I've boiled it down to a few things. Australia want our tourists, England want to get rid of the All Blacks, and the wine industry, they can't beat our Pinot or Sav.
Are you sure?
Well, I do have one more theory. We're quite a fiddly-looking shaped country, a bit like a half-eaten lamb chop. Perhaps people are just leaving us off thinking we're a mistake.
Reese, I've got to go.
Now, iceberg dead ahead. Environmentalists are crowdfunding cash to cut Donald Trump's face into an iceberg in the Arctic. They want to draw attention to his denial that climate change is a real man-made issue, and part of their plan is to live stream the iceberg as it melts. They're calling it Project Trump More. And speaking of climate change, Abed zooms right in now on a story of one of Africa's smallest tribes dealing with one of the world's biggest issues.
El Molo are the smallest tribe in Africa, and they're facing extinction. Based in Komoti in Kenya's north, this group of a few hundred people are used to fighting crocodiles and hippos. But now they're forced to face a new enemy, climate change. The El Molo rely on the southern shores of Lake Turkana for their sustenance, which includes Nile perch and other fish, and the occasional hippo or crocodile. As fishermen, they catch not only to eat, but also to sell to other tribes. They believe that whatever comes out from the water is blessed and pure, so they only eat from the lake. They also consider marrying into other tribes which depend on livestock as taboo. But now, circumstances have changed, and the tribe are struggling to hold on to their beliefs. Lake Turkana, which is the world's largest permanent desert lake, has shrunk over the past few years. UN scientists say it's because of shifting rain patterns caused by climate change. It's brought about severe drought, so crops cannot grow and livestock cannot survive. And this lake isn't just something the El Molo depend on. Close to 300,000 indigenous people rely on this 6,500 square kilometer body of water for their food and drink. But with no rain and severe drought, the fish have either stopped breeding or have died off. Fishermen from different villages along the lake are saying the same thing. There's either very little or no fish at all. The El Molo are now resorting to a unique way to survive, but this comes at a steep price, pushing their once flourishing tribe to extinction. Many of the young are leaving in search of jobs and a better education in the cities, while others are marrying into neighboring tribes. This comes with new challenges like learning new languages and cultures, and in some cases, converting to Christianity. With their numbers dwindling and their bloodline now mixed, there are only a few old men who remain in Komoti as custodians of the El Molo culture. Will climate change beat the El Molo into extinction, or will this tribe find a way to survive without sacrificing their culture?
Now, it's World Press Freedom Day, and it's never been a more dangerous time to be a journalist. Have a look at this. All right, let's take you around the world for some other stories you need to know this Thursday. The two men wrongfully arrested at a Philadelphia Starbucks have settled their case for $1 compensation each and a promise that the city will set up a fund for young black entrepreneurs. The arrests of Rashon Nelson and Dante Robinson caused a huge debate about racial bias in the US. The company that used Facebook to manipulate people and the outcome of elections around the world says it's gone bankrupt. What a shame. Cambridge Analytica says their coverage in the media means no one wants to work with them anymore, and they've declared themselves bankrupt. Now, Iraq is getting back some of the artifacts looted and shipped to the US by the Americans during the invasion of the country back in 2003. They were given to a company called Hobby Lobby, who paid over $1 million for them. They've now admitted that the things included ancient cuneiform tablets and that they were stolen and that they need to be given back. Now, diplomacy can take many forms, and when it comes to North and South Korea, that diplomacy has taken on a gastronomic turn. Noodles are bringing the two parts of the peninsula together. Have a look at this. Well, today's Animals Doing Stuff is my favorite one yet. Let me show you this dog. It's called Xiong Xiong. I'm sorry if I'm mangling the Chinese, but I'm told it means little bear. And this little bear goes to the train station in the city of Chongqing every day with his owner at around 8 a.m. And when his owner gets the train, little bear just hangs out for 12 hours until his owner comes back. Now, videos of him doing it have been viewed millions and millions of times. He's become a bit of a legend. Apparently, he just chills there all day. Doesn't want food or anything, and when his owner gets back, he's up and he's off. He's become so well known that people have been going to the station just to say hi. Well, he's better than most of my friends. Well, that's all from the NewsFeed team. Do reach out to me with your questions, comments, complaints and suggestions. I'm at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on Twitter, YouTube and Facebook. Follow, subscribe and add, and I will see you again tomorrow.